Interleague play continues tonight from the Rocky Mountain region. We're in Lodo at Coors Field. Game 2 of this two-game set between the Rockies and Royals. The Rockies couldn't hold the late lead last night. The Royals went hog wild with 2 outs in the 7th and 8th, and they ended up prevailing 7-4. They are the hottest team in baseball. The Rockies will try to cool them off a bit tonight. And with that, we welcome you upstairs, everybody. Glad as always that you're along with us. With my partner, George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. A pair of lefties going at one another tonight. Danny Duffy for Kansas City, who has just a 2.6 ERA. And Jorge De La Rosa, the Rockies' ace, is going tonight for Colorado.
Yeah, and if you start to look at what their records are, what they've done, you've got to turn and look at run support. That's one of the biggest things, or lack of things, I should say, for Danny Duffy. Now, he has, in his last 3 starts, gotten a lot more. 23 runs in his last 3 starts, where De La Rosa has only gotten 10, but he had De La Rosa's getting 6.1. That leads the major leagues. The 3.72 for Duffy, that is current, the lowest among pitchers still here. You have Peavy that's gone over to the National League. But De La Rosa at home, he's been special. 43-14 in his career at Coors Field. And I think obviously when they say guys can't pitch at Coors, well, let's just point at this guy. You can pitch at Coors if you have command and you have an off-speed pitch that you can dominate both right and left-handed hitters with. And he has the ability to do that and throw it for strikes whenever he needs to. Now the left-hander he's facing tonight, Drew, Duffy's a different story. This is a guy that's had a power arm throughout his whole career.
Well, 2 years ago, he had Tommy John surgery, similar to Jorge De La Rosa, who still touches in the mid-90s. He strikes out a lot of guys. Lefties, forget about. They're hitting under 140 against him this year, and he's got an 8-10 record. But as you said, George, it's so deceiving because he has one of the lowest ERAs in the game at 2.60. He just hasn't had any run support till lately.
None, not till lately. Last 3 starts, we mentioned 23 runs scored. Prior to that, they were averaging almost less than 1. That's how bad it was.
Well, Drew Stubbs is in the lineup because it's a left-hander, because he is as hot as a firecracker, especially here at Coors Field. We'll talk more about the Rockies center fielder when we return a few minutes in front of first pitch tonight. The Rockies and Royals.
trying to get one in this season series with Kansas City. They lost 2 on the road. A guy that has done his job this year is Drew Stubbs. Of course, the Rockies acquired him in the offseason from the Indians for reliever Josh Outman. Drew Stubbs gets the start again tonight. He's off his 8th third-hit game of the season last night. He's had 3 of those in August. He has been red hot. And I asked him today if Coors Field is tailor-made for his game.
I think so. And I mean, I've said that for years, even coming in as a visiting player. You know, both offensively and defensively, I think it's tailored to what I can do well. And you know, I think this year, still obviously some time to go in the season, but you know, it's been my best season as a whole so far, and you know, I think my comfortability here has had a lot to do with that.
Stubbs comes into tonight hitting .300 on the button, but what he has done really well, and of course of late, is hit it home and hit left-handers. His numbers are as good as any in the game when you're talking about those 2 categories. He has 7 hits in his last 11 at-bats. He's been hot this month, and Stubbs has played in 103 games now for the Rockies. I also asked him today if that's what he expected. He said he doesn't like to think of expectations or goals, but so far so good. He said personally he's having one of the best seasons of his career, but he was quick to note that he wished the team was a winning team. But Drew Stubbs will be hitting second and playing center field tonight as the Rockies try to get one from the Royals. William Rosario will be behind the plate. Jorge De La Rosa on the hill, the former Royal, trying to beat his ex-team, the team he was on before he came to Colorado. Rockies and the Royals next here on Root Sports.
Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota store. Toyota, let's go places. By Innova Cancer Care, Advanced Prostate Cancer Treatment. Visit InnovaCC.com. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. On a pretty Wednesday evening in lower downtown Denver, Jorge De La Rosa will take to the mound looking for his 13th victory of the year. This is his 26th start of the season. Never step on the lines. So many players have that superstition. So De La Rosa will begin with Christian Colon, young player out of Cal State Fullerton. He was a first-round pick, and he's hitting .385 in his first days in the big leagues. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order for Ned Yost. They had a late change. Sal Perez was batting third originally, catching. He was scratched about 20 minutes ago. Omar Infante, their hitting star from last night, with 4 hits, 3 doubles, 4 ribbies. He'll bat second. Billy Butler slides up. Josh Willingham was in the original lineup. He slides up. Gordon fifth. Eric Kratz is the catcher now, and he'll bat sixth. He's got a lot of pop. Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, and Danny Duffy round out the lineup. Now let's take a look at some more numbers on Jorge De La Rosa, brought to you by Nova Cancer Care, painless outpatient treatment of prostate cancer. Visit novacc.com.
I was reading some articles today, and they talked about De La Rosa maybe winning 15 games. I'm saying, well, you got 12 now with 8 starts to go. He may win 20. Don't get carried away. He could get hot and win some right in a row because he's gone 6 innings or more in 10 straight starts. That ties a record, the longest in Rockies history since Chacin did it in 2011. He went 11 straight.
For Jorge, George, I was going to say, it's only the 3rd time in his career he's made this many starts. The only time he made more starts in 09 when the Rockies went to the postseason, he made 32 starts, and he went 16-9. Last year he made 30 starts and he went 16-6, and as I said, tonight is his 26th start. So I think realistically he should be in the 15, 16, maybe 17 game.
I think even more than that. With a little luck and some run support, he should get more than that. And I'll give you a number here that'll throw things into perspective of how good he has been in a Rockies uniform since 2013. That's 40 or more starts. Kershaw 30-12. Greinke 27-12. Wainwright 34-16. De La Rosa 28-14. Pretty good numbers with a select group of the best pitchers in baseball.
2-0 on De La Rosa. The 43-14 is really mind-boggling at any ballpark, but especially pitching here, which is a park so conducive to offense. 2-0 on Christian Colon. And that's a little bit low, according to home plate umpire Jeff Nelson. Yeah, 2 pitches that were borderline. And come on now, you teach. The one thing that frustrates me about this is that you teach pitchers to throw the ball typically down in the strike zone. Well, reward them.
Yeah, they're both in the bottom of the strike zone. You force your issue. And in fact, you know, when Jorge threw the 3 ball that was called, the 3rd pitch that was called a ball, he immediately kind of had a glare on his face, like, and I think that affected the 4th pitch of the inning.
So it turns out to be a 4-pitch walk, but it should have been a 2-2 count. The defense brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. The Rockies have Dickerson, Stubbs, and Barnes in the outfield. Arenado, Rutledge, LeMahieu, Matt McBride getting the start at first. Rockies have only 1 left-handed bat, and that's Dickerson against Danny Duffy. So there's Matt McBride. Matt's very versatile. He catches. He can play both corner infield spots. He can play corner outfield spots. He's not been in the big league since 2012. Did pitch hit late last night, and that is in there for a strike. Omar Infante was in a horrendous slump until last night when he went 4 for 5 with those 3 doubles, the 4 hits, high for him in a Kansas City uniform. 3 doubles matches his career best set 10 years ago.
Well, last night got a pitch that he drove right down the 3rd base line and past a diving Nolan Arenado. Then it was the line drive fair by about 2 feet that knocked in a couple of runs there. Then he came up later in the ball game with another base hit. Nolan did his best to try to get to the baseball. Wasn't able to come up with it.
0-2 count on Infante. Infante's 3 doubles and 4+ RBIs has been accomplished in a game by a Royal only 7 other times. Al McRae, George Brett, Al Cowens, Big Ken Harvey, Willie Aikens, Tony Pena Jr., Frank White. The others. got the strikeout. 1 out.
Jorge got him to chase one in a second pitch for a strike. He came right back on the Mike Shaw Super Bowl with that other split finger, and he didn't have an opportunity here. Got him to chase the ball down and in the dirt. Nice block by Willeen.
That'll bring up Billy Butler. Butler has an 8-game hitting streak going. Butler doubled last night. Also walked. And that's a good block by Willeen. 1-0 on Butler. He's been perfect defensively at first base. He's been playing there since Eric Hosmer went down with the broken hand. Hit by a pitch. Butler, for a big barrel-chested guy, has always been a terrific hitter. He hits some home runs. You look at his body type, and you think, oh man, he's a 30-plus home run guy. He's really never been that type of hitter. He's hit 15-plus in each of his last 5 seasons. This year he has 7. Sometimes you just got to let guys be who they are. And for Butler, he's a career .298 hitter. Career high in home runs 2 years ago. He hit 29. He drove in 107 that year for the Royals. Batted .313.
And once you do that, they expect it every year. And Jorge didn't like that call either.
That's 3-0.
Early in the ball game type of guy you would turn loose. You know, he's griping a little bit about this ball that Willeen froze, but on the 4 strikes on it showed out of the zone.
.3-0 on Butler. And now another walk, both on 4 pitches. So they're 2 on, 1 out, and Josh Willingham comes up. This is a team that doesn't walk a whole lot typically. They don't strike out a ton. De La Rosa had only walked 3, George, in his last 5 starts.
Yeah, he'd been around the zone, that's for sure.
He's walked 2 of the first 3 hitters tonight. A very tight zone from Jeff Nelson, at least initially. And that's down. Trying to induce a ground ball here with Willingham. Willingham's a guy who's hit some home runs in his career, 194 of them. And again, De La Rosa pulls the string. De La Rosa, they throw as many changeups or more changeups than any starting pitcher in baseball. He throws it almost a third of the time.
It's a good pitch to utilize because he has so much confidence in it, but the way he grips the ball, much like what Lyles does.
Should be 2. Arenado to LeMahieu on the first, and the walks did not hurt De La Rosa. 5-4-3 on the turn, and when we come back, the Rockies will take a look at Danny Duffy. De La Rosa and 25-year-old Danny Duffy. That's Josh Rutledge. The Alabama product will lead off for Walt Weiss. Let's take a look at the rest of Walter's lineup tonight, presented by Southwest Airlines. Drew Stubbs done a good job in that 2 spot. He's got a 300 average. We featured him off the top of the broadcast. And Nolan Arenado, he's nudging up on 300. Willeen will bat cleanup. Corey Dickerson at 321. Matt McBride in there at first base. Brandon Barnes, DJ LeMahieu, and De La Rosa. Michael Kadire, hamstrings much better today. Probably see him over the weekend, but not starting back-to-back ball games. Is available to swing the bat later on. Here are the Nova numbers on Danny Duffy. Painless outpatient treatment of prostate cancer. Visit novacc.com.
You know, he had the unfortunately he ended up having the Tommy John, but it really cleaned his delivery up. 25 games, 19 starts, 8-10 record. What's been more impressive since the beginning of June, 6-5, 221 earned run average. And this is ridiculous. The league has hit 198 against him.
Isn't that something?
3-0 in his last 3 with a 194 earned run average. And against the National League, he's 3-1 with a 228 earned run average.
.95-mile-an-hour fastballs inside and low. Danny Duffy was a 3rd-round pick out of a California high school. Turned down an opportunity to play at San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. They were in the top 5 at one point this year in college baseball. Signed as a 3rd-round pick. Royals done a nice job. He's a 3rd-round pick. Their closer was a 10th-round pick in Greg Holland.
A guy that throws really hard, but now all of a sudden throws strikes. You know, that's a lot. Scares a lot of people away to give a guy a lot of money. I know that the Angels, when they took Garrett, watching this last pitch out of the University of Oklahoma, was a guy that couldn't throw strikes, and all of a sudden things went well. But unfortunately tonight, apparently got hit with a line drive in his kneecap and dislocated it. They're not sure what happened. That's a big loss for the Angels down this stretch run.
Fastball's high, 3-2. They said his pitch ridiculous, and these are displaced New Yorkers.
Yeah, what is that?
Forget about it. That's what it is. Forget about it. 3-2, and that's a bullet up the middle. Base hit for Rutledge. So a good start for the Rockies.
Let's take it right out of the hand of Danny Duffy. See it coming into the home plate. Low fastball, a missile right back up the middle. On the outer, it looked more like the inner half of the plate. But good job with this. Almost got it by the center fielder. Kane, as hard as that ball was hit.
Now to bring up Stubbs, who's 7 for his last 11 over 3 ball games, including a couple of home runs, the walk-off. Hit another 9th-inning home run yesterday. 2-run shot over the auxiliary scoreboard, and that kind of forced Greg Holland into the ball game eventually.
It had to, because it wasn't, you know, when the lefty started messing up, then they didn't know what are we going to do next, and the game got tight. And they looked at that same board everybody else looks at with the Detroit Tigers in a fight. They wanted to make sure they secured the win.
1-1 on Stubbs.
Well, it's only gotten better for Drew Stubbs. 255, 368, and in July and August it has been extremely hot. 7 home runs, 18 RBIs. The average set right at 300.
This is a high fly ball to left, and I'm telling you what, Stubbs is going to come back to the dugout. Now, Drew's a pretty quiet guy. He may say to somebody, I just missed that.
Well, a lot of ball players say a grain. There was a grain from hitting that one on the concourse.
Let's take a look at the Royals defensively, brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Gordon, Kane, Willingham in the outfield. Escobar can really pick it at short. Colon is a natural shortstop. He's at 3rd, Infante at 2nd, Butler at 1st, and Eric Kratz behind the plate. Nolan hitting .326 in the 3-hole this year. It's his 10th ball game there. Stubbs, when he came back, walked over to Walt. Yeah, there are conversations, George, as you know, that'll take place in some interleague matchups that wouldn't take place if this was the Giants or the Dodgers, because you're familiar with, I mean, you get scouting reports, you have video, and you have advanced meetings, all that sort of stuff. But there's nothing like being up there against a guy, but they haven't seen him much.
They haven't seen him hardly at all. You try to think back.
Runner goes, and Rutledge steals second base. Got a great jump.
Second stolen base for Rutledge. Second one this week. Well, where Nolan's probably seen Duffy a year ago, when Nolan was a couple of years ago, when Nolan was in AA Tulsa, Duffy was rehabbing with Northwest. But again, it was rehabbing. It's not the same guy you're looking at today.
Well, he had a start against the Rockies in 2011 here. I mean, he's a kid right now at 25, but he was really young at that point in time. Rockies scored 5 runs off him, roughed him up a little bit. But there'll be conversations. How does his ball move? Is it easy to pick up? That sort of thing. Here's the 1-2. And that's pulled foul. That was at 97. They say that James Shields, who started last night, has had a huge influence on guys like Danny Duffy.
I think you look back at any ball club that has had Hall of Fame type pitchers, guys that are the leaders of the league every single year. They teach them how to pitch. They also teach them to become a professional and how to go about their business in between starts. I think that's where the influence really happens. He's got a gifted arm. We've seen 97. We've seen all the breaking balls, everything else. Now let's translate that in and funnel those energies into that of what you have every single start, the workouts in between, the bullpens in between. Don't just sit in the dugout, observe while you're in the dugout. Come up with your plan.
1-2 again. And once again, it's fouled off by Nolan. That breaking ball's fouled off. Infante in the infield will make the catch, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Willeen Rosario. .78 degrees game time temperature. Rosario a year ago hit .292 with 21 home runs and 79 driven in. Willeen enters play tonight at .250, 10 and 42. His time earlier this summer with a viral infection. He's just sitting on 97 right now.
Yeah, he's showing off a little bit, huh? Well, if you got it, you may as well show it, right? Pretty good pitch, too. Outside corner, outer half of the plate, down.
chase to 95 up and away.
Two-strike count on Rosario. Rutledge at second, and that's fouled right back.
And he wears out the zone. I can give him credit for that. 22 pitches, 17 strikes.
Oh, 2, and it's 1-2. Willeen, 5'11", about 225 pounds. Built like a guy who catches, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Willeen hit well in the minor leagues, but coming into the season, his career average at 277 at the big league level, about 10 points higher than what he did at the minor league level. 1-2. And this is in the air to Kane. Rockies got Rutledge in a scoring position. Could not bring him around. We'll go to the second. No score at Coors Field. First for the Royals against Jorge De La Rosa. Let's check our Steel T Heating and Air Cool stat. Never a trip charge for a repair, $69 value. Steel T, the T stands for trust. Go to steelt.com. So De La Rosa's 43-14 in his home ballpark. The only winning percentage that's better, well, it's the best actually, because looking at Zach Greinke, he's now at 750, and Jorge with his last victory has moved in front of him. You have Max Scherzer on there, CC Sabathia, CJ Wilson. Pretty remarkable.
Then you look at, take that a little bit further, best record at current home ballpark in the last 20 starts. Jose Fernandez 12-0, Greinke 14-4, Scherzer 44-13, Latos 19-6, and obviously De La Rosa spent more time in his park at 43-14.
Again, Jorge will be a free agent at the end of the year. This ball is going to make it 1-0. Alex Gordon launches one into the second deck on the first pitch he sees in the second inning. He had a rough night last night, 0 for 5 and 3 strikeouts, but he ambushed De La Rosa. 14th home run for Gordon.
Now has 56 RBIs. You can see on the 4th strike zone, center cut fastball. Left on left, doesn't really matter. This guy faces left-handers all the time, but he squared this one up pretty good. Then loaded that backside, and a lot of drive. You see that back leg drive with that knee driving forward with the bat speed, and a long home run.
This is 116th home run in a Royals uniform. 3 away from moving into the top 10 for the Royals. Steve Bye-Bye Balboni sitting in 10th with 119. It's 2-0 on Eric Kratz. 17th home run allowed by De La Rosa this year, and that's ripped foul. I don't know how advisable it is to try to catch a line drive with your bare hands.
Not. I'll just help you out with that one, Drew. If that happens to you, just don't do it.
I was looking at that fella down there who tried it. Didn't work out too well.
See, even with Gabe now, because he's 10, don't try it with him anymore either. You could do it when he was 5 or 6, but don't do it now. You're going to get hurt. Yeah, I don't know why they just don't hand out gloves to like the first 30 rows on both sides. When you come to the park, there's a glove in your seat.
There's a couple parks that during batting practice will raise a screen up.
Yankee Stadium has one of those.
2-2 on Kratz. Lifted in the air to left field. Dickerson waiting. Kratz retired. Tweet your questions for Toyota Talk using the hashtag Toyota Talk, and we'll get to as many questions as we can during the 5th inning. One out, and that'll bring up Lorenzo Cain. He's hitting .304 this year against left-handed pitching. Overall, a real solid .296 average. Top of the strike zone with kind of a cutter. Cain had a double in last night's ball game. Royals have won 22 of their last 27. They were 8 games back in the division on July 21st. Today's August 20th. And they've made up 10 games. They lead Detroit by 2 full games. Tigers winning in Tampa tonight in the 7th, 2-0. Let's look at the AL Central at the beginning of play today. Royals have reached 70 victories in the shortest amount of time since 1989. In other words, this is the earliest date they've been at 70 victories since 1989. 1-2 and a bouncer to short. Rutledge just does get it in front of Cain. It's Rick Porcello today throwing the shutout at Tampa Bay. Alcides Escobar with 2 outs.
You know, Porcello kind of battled around that 500 guy, didn't really do much, and all of a sudden this year, man, it has taken off. Start to throw the cutter a little bit more, increase the velocity on his slider. No longer like a slow power curve, it's more of a power slider now. He's had a lot of success. He's pitched well. Came out of Seton Hall Prep 2007. On the ground at third, fair ball. Arenado, and
McBride couldn't quite come off the bag and swipe tag. So it'll go as a base hit.
And the ball dived right before it got to first base. That's why he had to come off, and then he tried to pick it, and it was in the running lane of Escobar. Made it a very difficult play for him to be able to make. More than likely going to be a base hit. As Escobar came across the bag, he ran into the arm of McBride. Watch the finish of this play. As the ball started to sink, McBride tried to come off and catch it. That's when the collision right there caught the glove with the foot. The ball scooted by.
So Danny Duffy's up 0 for 7 in his career with the bat.
And looks to be 0 for 8.
Well, Duffy came into the season without ever producing a hit, and he had never had an error in his career. He's gotten the errors out of the way this year because he has 4 of them. Still no hits.
How about this 22nd infield hit for Escobar? That's tied for 4th in the American League. Number 1 of your favorite players, Altuve, with 29 infield singles. Boy, the guy plays hard.
Altuve?
Yes, he does. So does Escobar. But, Altuve, the little engine that could. He's a good player.
He's a really good player. 0-2. And that's back at Jorge. Unfortunately, he's able to smother it. And that'll end the inning. So Duffy's still without a major league hit. Home run by Alex Gordon, 1-0 Royals.
The Rocks, there's Matt McBride, who starts today at first base. He hit second this inning. You may remember the name. In 2012, Matt was up with the team. Last year, he had a neck injury at this time. In fact, the team was in Philadelphia. He was at the Lehigh University alumni group meeting there. Well, he's back, but he had a weird injury this year. April the 19th, hit by a pitch on his right foot by a left-hander, and then he found out it was really hurt on a home run trot.
The doctor said it was probably a small stress fracture, but we thought it was like a bone bruise, and yeah, it was sore. And then by chance, I was between first and second on the home run, and I felt like a pop, and then all of a sudden it went from like being sore to not being able to put any pressure on it, and that's when I knew something was something. It was more significant than that.
Yeah, Drew and George may remember seeing him here at Coors Field saying, "What, you're injured again? I thought you hit a home run." Well, he went and rehabbed at Grand Junction around July 4th, then back up with the Sky Sox, and he has been hitting great in August. And fans, you know, he's the guy that's left from the Ubaldo Jimenez trade with the Indians. Drew, George?
All right, Mark, thank you. Corey Dickerson will lead things off first against Danny Duffy. you think back to that, at the time, blockbuster trade. Matt McBride's the only guy, not only left, he's the only guy left with the team that the trade was with, because Ubaldo went to Cleveland. He's now in Baltimore.
And Pomerantz was with Oakland, Alex White with Houston, Joe Gardner with the Mississippi Braves. Double-A.
Dickerson's the only lefty in there against Duffy, and Walt was asked before the game about Morneau. He said, well, I can give him 2 straight days off, plus this guy just chainsaws left-handed bats. 138 average against, 2 extra base hits, pair of doubles. Come on, oh man, that's 5 push-ups, EY.
Boy, you're a tough coach.
How many would you give him?
Nothing. No, he's old. He's got to bend over and catch it. I wouldn't give him anything. Kidding? If I go get him a Coke or something and a bag of chips and say, here, enjoy it.
That's a running 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's the first strikeout for Danny Duffy. So here comes Matt McBride, drafted by the Indians out of Lehigh back in 2006 in the 2nd round. We talked about the trade. Signed back with the Rockies last offseason. He can hit, and he's versatile. And Walt likes him a lot. He had a good spring training, George, also.
Yes, he does. And again, this is a guy that he doesn't get your attention with great speed. He doesn't get your attention with a great glove, but he gets you a lot of attention with that wood stick in his hand.
Yeah, he gives you good at bat. Bounced up the middle, and a base hit for McBride.
Join the Rockies on Faith Day on Sunday, August the 24th. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game event featuring a concert by Jeremy Camp. Get your tickets today for Faith Day.
So Brandon Barnes coming up with 1 out, and McBride at first. Barnes has hit .344 in the month of August after scuffling in July. That's baseball. I always say this, George. You talk about guys who hit 300, and that's a rare breed in today's game. But if you hit 300, you're probably not hitting 300 in April, 300 in May, 300 in June, and 320 1 month, maybe 250 in a down month. Bounce back, hit 340 in a good month.
By the way, happy birthday to Todd Helton. Today's his birthday. Sweet teeth. What is he now, 41?
He's 41 today. Happy birthday, Todd.
Yeah, Corey Sullivan's birthday today also. He's 30.
30 what?
Well, ish.
30 something.
Yeah. I bet you Corey's not 40 yet.
I don't think so.
Corey's like 35, 36 years old. There's Corey. Happy birthday, Corey. You want me to write that in there? Nah, I'm not going to write it. Yeah, right here he is. Right. Happy birthday.
We know who he is, right?
Look up, Corey. Look at the screen. We're saying happy birthday to you. Quit acting cool.
Corey's doing the same thing he did at Wake Forest. He's trying to cheat off the person next to him.
Well, that's Jeff on these. That's Jeff cheating, and that's Jenny cheating. By the way, Jenny supposedly kind of quasi challenged me to the ice bucket. I'm in. Friday before the game, Drew, you and I, and Jenny will do the ice bucket challenge.
I did my ice bucket challenge last week. And
no, you did.
Well, we have video.
Not on TV, at camera. We're going to have it. Where's your video? You doing it? Where is it?
They'll get it out for you, I promise.
Well, I mean, I think you should do the ice bucket challenge. My daughter did it last week. She was challenged by a bunch of friends.
In all seriousness, this has been a wonderful fundraiser for ALS research. I read where they've almost equaled in the last few weeks because of the Ice Bucket Challenge. All the money, I think 20+ million, I don't know if I have my figures exactly right, raised last year. They've already done that in the last few weeks. So it's been a wonderful thing. And I know so many of you have participated and donated money. So thank you very much.
So you're going to do it Friday with me?
You're doing it before the ball game? I did it already. I'm going to show you the video.
I just asked you, are you going to do it with me on Friday?
I will gladly dump the water on your head.
What tell you, folks, it ain't happening. Yeah. I just want to, Jenny and I got to do it Friday. Hope somebody let her know I challenged her back.
You challenge other people who haven't done it, George.
She hadn't done it yet.
She did it with a
cup of water does not count. You do it with a bucket full of ice water.
Do we have the video of her doing it?
No. Do not.
1 and 2 on Barnes.
All right, let me see this.
Wait a second.
That's not a bucket.
What'd she take, like a wine glass out of her?
Oh, she didn't even move enough. That was warm water.
I didn't see any cubes in there personally.
No, I didn't either.
2 and 2. That's fouled off out of play.
Corey Sullivan did it. Great. Let's see. I want to see Corey. Oh, and look who's in the background coming forward with another one. He doesn't even know it's happening.
Barnes never misses an opportunity to douse somebody. How about that? The other day when Barnes got Kadire after his cycle, and we told him to duck, and I said, "You want the initials?" He said, "No, I know who it is."
I know who it is.
Swung on and missed. 2 outs. That'll bring up DJ.
Well, to be honest with you, I think the whole booth should do it. Dougie, Sam, Drew, all of us should do it together. Dougie's off on Friday. We'll do it. When can you do it, Doug? November?
McBride is first. And LeMahieu fouls it off. Duffy working off that mid-90s fastball. Misses inside, 1-1. Slowly hit the second. And Infante throws to first to end the inning. So there's a base hit by Matt McBride. He's left aboard. 1-0 Kansas City as we go to the third. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Super Duty. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by University of Colorado Health. Flat River. Always busy with kayakers right there from the REI building. 1-0 on an Alex Gordon home run. The Royals in front. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout tonight. There's George, and congratulations on graduating.
No,
George.
I want to tell you something. Today I had a great day today. I went out to the Veterans Hospital, but it all started with a very good friend of mine named Debbie, who graduated from nursing school. Then she went to work as a nurse at the VA hospital. And so when she gave me the hat, if you all remember last year, I said, send your hat to me. We were trading out all kinds of things and doing things. And her trade out was for me to go to the VA hospital, which I said, hey, I'll be happy to do that with my brother and my father, both veterans. My father-in-law was a prisoner of war, so I said, I'd love to go. And so it started last year. This year, I went out again, and I went up on the 7th floor. I had a blast with Jeff, Bonnie, and John, West, and Tony. They're all people that are over there. The nurses were a lot of fun. I had fun with them talking because they were big. I want to tell you guys, these guys are huge, huge Rocky fans. And that was kind of the best part of it. Nurses Janie and Christian, and Maddie is the nurse manager there on the 7th floor. Then we moved down, and we went to different areas of, and we'll get to that in a minute. You want to see that AT&T fan photo, right? I know you do. And so anyway, we moved our way through the hospital. We had a lot of fun, and I just wanted to make sure that a lot of these people knew that I appreciated what they do. And I think of them, and I thank them every single day. I went down into the cancer center for a while today for about 45 minutes. I walked in, she had a Twins photo, Twins baseball card of me, and signed that. And I was excited as I could be about it. So I just thought, it was kind of fun for me today to go out there and spend 3.5 hours with all the nurses. And Maddie was there and had all the fun. And Maddie was with us, and we had pictures taken throughout. And I had a blast. And Carl, I tell you what, I love you, buddy. But I walked in, and the first thing in his mind was, you stink. And I said, why do I stink? He goes, because the Rockies aren't winning. I go, well, but we want to win. So it was. I had a fun day today. I really did. A beautiful day.
Sounds like a great day. I saw some of the tweets earlier.
Mm-hmm. I had a wonderful time out there today.
I remember that young lady last year with
Debbie. Yeah, she was great. Absolutely a wonderful person, and I can't thank her enough to get me connected out there and for us to go out. And Annie Gleason went with me from the office today, and it's an eye opener. It was fun to be there.
Colon with a base hit to start the inning. Omar Infante at the plate. It's kind of raining.
And the sunshine.
Yeah, it's one of those deals.
Yeah, clear up shower.
The cloud burst overhead.
Oh, beautiful rainbow up above first, too. Gorgeous.
Rainbow always ends up.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Gorgeous.
Man, oh man. See, the people on the third base side can't see it. The people on the first base side are really enjoying it right now.
1-0 on Omar Infante here in the third. Slashed at. Line foul down the right field line.
I had a question a lot of times from people that say, when it rains, who does it affect most? For me, it's the pitcher, because you're landing and you don't, this mound is so great, you don't really feel it till you get a ton of rain on it. But you always have that, kind of hesitant about that foot sliding out under you on your landing foot.
Well, I think if it gets to that point where a pitcher's hesitant about the landing area,
he needs to be in the dugout.
He needs to be in the dugout, and there needs to be a tarp over the field.
And unfortunately, a few times I've seen it the other way here, where you're out there in a downpour, puddles in the infield.
I remember one where the umpires had it going. It's about 5-6 years ago, George, and there literally was standing water on the infield.
And we're getting it in. We're playing. And that was probably one of the craziest things I could have done. Not this set of umpires, but a set of umpires. The rain's gone.
Pass through. It's Colorado.
So? Yeah.
1-2 on Infante.
Veteran player, one of the few you'll see that still hits out of kind of a closed stance, but he goes to right field exceptionally well. Can the Rockies turn this? There's one, and they're not going to be able to.
So Infante at first with 1 out. That'll bring up Billy Butler, who walked his first time. Subaru brings you the manager's challenge. If there's a questionable call, we'll use instant replay to figure out what exactly happened. It's brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Detroit's really opened it up on Tampa 6-0 in the 8th inning. Nationals continue to play well. They've won 8 in a row, George. They're up 2-0 in the 8th inning at home against Arizona.
Expanding the lead against the Atlanta Braves. They had a 6-game lead going into this ball game.
Well, Atlanta's actually played well also. They have, I think, a 5-game winning streak going. They're tied with Pittsburgh right now late.
But when you're trying to chase people, it's hard to catch up when you're behind that many games. They keep winning, you keep winning.
Here's the National League playoff picture right now. Division leaders, Washington, as George mentioned, 6 up. The Brewers in the tight Central, 2 up. The Dodgers 4.5 north of San Francisco, and then the Cardinals, the Giants. And right now, if the season ended today, the Giants and Braves would have a play-in game to get into the wild card game against the Cardinals. And there's the Pirates, who've taken on some water lately. They're 2 back, and the Marlins, who we'll see over the weekend. Don't dismiss the Marlins. They're 500. And look at what's said almost every year. If you can be around 500, this is a comeback for Jorge with the feed to DJ double play. If you can be around 500 at the end of August, it should allow you to be in the playoff picture, play meaningful games in September, and that looks to be the case this year. 1-0 Royals. That camera lens. Royals got a home run from Alex Gordon. They're up 1-0. Rockies in the bottom of the third will have De La Rosa, and then the top of the order. Time for the injury report brought to you by University of Colorado Health. Christian Bergman, who's been out for the better part of 2 months with a fractured left thumb, is going to return to the big leagues on Sunday. He'll make a start in place of Johan Flande. It'll be good to see Christian back.
It will be. Made some starts at the AA level, then moved on to AAA, and now be getting the opportunity on Sunday again.
There's Christian. Christian's looking at it, going, what's going on? Is Sonny out? Tyler Matzik next to Christian. 0-2 on Jorge, and he lines it foul. The pitchers look ahead, see who they're matched up with. And you get matched up with for De La Rosa, he gets matched up a lot with Kershaw naturally. And you have to think, wow, I got to go hit against that guy also.
That's exactly right. I mean, you're not only that, you know you're going to typically have a very low-scoring ball game.
He got it in play against Danny Duffy. Rockies had 2 hits first time through against Duffy. Josh Rutledge had 1 of them. In fact, the hardest hit ball. The first look at Danny Duffy was from Rutledge. He had a line shot right up the middle. We just saw Tyler Matzik, and I wanted to compliment him again. He threw the ball very well yesterday, George. I know he got the loss. The record says 2-9. He departed after 6 2/3. He had given up only 1 run. There were a couple guys on base that got on after there were 2 outs, a walk and a hit. And unfortunately, Adam Ottavino gave up that double that just snuck inside the line down the right field line. He got painted up a little bit, but Tyler was very good yesterday.
That was outstanding. You're seeing the continuing growth out of Tyler Matzik during his ball game last night. Made big pitches when he needed to. Focus, concentration. Not afraid to throw a changeup. Not afraid to throw a very good slider last night. And, the defense obviously played a role. They had a lot of ground ball outs last night. 98 pitches, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts for Matzik last night.
1-1 on Rutledge, outside and high, 2-1. Just the 3rd time this year that Rutt is leading off. He kind of likes it. He's 5 for 10 in that spot. Left center field, Kane will make the play. 2 outs. And with 2 outs, Drew Stubbs will approach the plate. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies tacos special with Masa at Taco Bell. Stubbs hit a towering fly ball to left. He got it on the barrel, just missed it. He's had a great season against left-handed pitching. I can see a couple of Rockies on this list. Tulowitzki, when he went down, hitting .397 against lefties. The Mets' David Wright, Paul Goldschmidt, who's out for the year also. And then Drew Stubbs, and the guy we'll see this weekend, Giancarlo Stanton. Good swing. Drew stayed away from the protracted slump this year. He was mentioning that the other day. We were talking about his season, and he said that's where he feels like he's matured as a hitter. You're going to have, periods where you're not swinging the bat well, but can you stay out of the 2 for 32s?
Well, I think the big thing is too is his ability with his speed. A lot of times he'll hit a ball up the middle, shortstop, get it, no play. That keeps things moving in the right direction for you also.
Yep. This is fouled off. I mean, if you wanted to draw up a center fielder, George, body-wise.
Oh, that's your guy. I mean, he can run well, 6'3", 195, 200-pound guy. He can take off and run a little bit, go get the ball. He throws well. The inconsistent bat's what stopped him from having consistent play. Well, now all of a sudden the bat's there.
Stubbs is listed at 6'4", 205. And remind people, in high school in Atlanta, Texas, he ran a 10.400 meters. He was one of the fastest kids in the state of Texas, and they got a whole lot of kids there, George.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, track is huge in the state of Texas also. You think about all the great runners they have there.
He was a hurdler also.
Not surprising.
Tremendous hurdler.
Well, the rooftop still garnering a lot of people up there. It's kind of nice to see it. The beautiful shot from up there that they get to look at the rainbow, the ballpark.
This is pulled through. Oh, nice play at third by Cologne. Giving Stubbs a base hit on that. So Cologne, the natural shortstop, makes a nice move into the hole, takes a hit away from Stubbs. To the fourth we go, 1-0 Kansas City.
On the Rockies, De La Rosa back out on the hill. The Rockies traded for Jorge De La Rosa, and they got him, and his first start was May 3rd, 2008. Since that time, he has been a workhorse for this team. And if you look at from May 3rd, 2008 to today, there are only 11 other pitchers in the National League that have had more wins than Jorge De La Rosa. That's it, just 11, and those names are familiar. And Drew and George, when I talked to Vinny Castilla today, I said, did you have any say in the fact that this team traded for Jorge De La Rosa? He said Dan O'Dowd consulted with him back in 2008 when they got him from the Royals. He was 3-0 at the AAA level in April. The Royals, they had made a deal with the Rockies. It was a player to be named later, and it's Jorge De La Rosa. And boy, what a pitcher he has been, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, Mark, that list that you have there, Jorge really missed a whole season because of Tommy John.
Yeah, he pitched a couple games, what, in September?
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to throw a dozen more wins up there, just picking a number out.
Look at that rank, yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're talking about a guy in the top 5 or 6.
Great trade for the team.
Well, not only that, I'll never forget his first start here. 9 runs given up, I think, in his first start.
Yeah, you should look at that box score. It's like single, single, single. 2 straight innings of just all hits and knocks.
2-strike count on Josh Willingham. And that's a fair ball. So Willingham on an 0-2 slider smokes it down the line, just fair, a leadoff double.
Well, they got him because he can hit. They felt like this is a great addition to their club when you got a tough left-hander. Takes it right, right over the top of the bag, called fair. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. I don't know, Drew. I'd like to see that slow motion down that third base line. That ball crossed over the top of the bag. Mark Carlson thought it did.
Alex Gordon, on the first pitch he saw in the second inning, a fastball, he hit into the second deck in right center. He gets a slider. Willingham 7 for his last 12. evidently just outside. 2-0. Fourth matchup this year between Colorado and Kansas City, and the Royals have won all three. First two came in mid-May in Kansas City. And this ball's hit to deep right center again. Stubbs going back near the wall. He makes the catch. Willingham tagged and moved to third. That's a wonderful play out in right center field by Stubbs. Not just because he got there, George, but he has to be thinking the wall's about to impact him.
Most players will tell you they know they've got 2.5 strides before they hit the wall once they leave the grass and feel the dirt under their feet. As he chased after this baseball, he never lost concentration of where he was and got his footing back together. Then a very strong athletic throw about 8 to 10 feet from the wall when he made the catch and able to slow himself down.
Infield in with the Rockies down 1-0 in the fourth. Big Eric Kratz at the plate. Filled in for Perez the other day and hit 2 home runs.
Now this is an area he struggled this year, just 167 with runners in scoring position. Prior to the ball game, 462 in a Royals uniform. Overall on the year, 234 with 5 home runs and 12 RBIs. He's got power.
Off the plate.
Most guys that are backup catchers, not all, but most, very good fastball hitters and they're pull hitters. They want the ball in the middle half in. You don't go to the opposite field very often. For most of them.
1-2. Kratz made a name for himself in Philadelphia, backing up Carlos Ruiz. 2012 hit 9 home runs, 50 ball games. This is popped up third base, or excuse me, first base line. It's going to go out of play. Good effort by McBride. Four-year-old Eric Kratz, 6'4" and 240.
They got big catchers. Perez 6'3", 240.
Who's that catcher you used to throw? You had a big catcher.
Terry Kennedy.
Yeah, Terry Kennedy.
6'3", 250. Jody Davis was 6'4", 6'5" at about 230.
That's what I was thinking of, Jody Davis. 1-2.
Jody now minor league hitting coach.
Is he in the Cubs organization?
No, he's not. He's with the Cincinnati Reds, if I'm not mistaken.
De La Rosa trying to stay away from Kratz's power. Kratz hit a fly ball to left his first time up. Line toward Barnes. He can throw. Here comes Willingham. Here comes the throw to the plate. Great throw by Barnes. Just a smidgen late. Willingham scores. It's 2-0. Boy, Barnes did everything right. He stayed behind the baseball, George, and he fired a perfect one-hop strike to Rosario.
And what you have to do as an outfielder, you don't want to get the ball over your head. You want to keep it out in front so you can make the equal exchange when you catch the ball, just like Barnes did. Then he stayed behind the baseball. It was a strike, but the speed of Willingham, who got in ahead of the tag from Rosario, you know, those new rules, you can't block, so you got to give a path to the plate. By the time they did that, the throw was late and the runner's safe.
Make a play, George.
Not near me, or I would have. Another look at this from the robo behind home plate. Really strong throw. Not much else you can do more than what Barnes did.
1 strike on Lorenzo Cain. Cutter's in. Good changeup. Royals are 15 games above 500 for the first time since August the 6th, 1994. I wonder who was populating their roster back then.
Doug will tell you shortly.
Brett was done by then, wasn't he?
94, yes.
Well, Wally Joyner was with him. Gary Gaetti, Vince Coleman, Brian McRae.
Not many Royals, original Royals you're mentioning.
Big Bob Hamlin was their DH. There's a strikeout of Lorenzo Cain. In the inning, a double by Willingham, and he'd eventually score on a sac fly by Eric Kratz. It's 2-0 Kansas City, middle of 4. Spring Creek cable viewers from Montrose, Colorado, we thank you for watching the Rockies on Root Sports. Let us know where you're watching from. Give us a shout on Twitter at RootSports_RM. I rode a bike from Montrose before. This ball bullet to left center field for Arenado. And it's going to go all the way to the wall. Arenado is thinking 3 bags. Get there, Nolan. He will.
That's not a triple if he doesn't bust it out of the box, and that's exactly what he did when he hit that baseball. Fans like it here with the Rockies trailing 2-0. A chance to get one on the board. You got 2 shots at it. Right out of the hand fastball, 4-seam, right down the middle. Nolan's head down, drives this ball on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. Remember, it's rain, so backspin's going to scoot to the wall and went to the deepest part at 415, and then Nolan made the decision on his own to get to third base with the play out in front of him. Good decision.
Rosario In a 2-0 game, and this should get the job done. Right center field near the track. Lorenzo Cain just lobs it back toward the infield. The Rockies so within a run again. It's 2-1.
43 RBIs for Rosario. Very good at bat. Looked for something away to drive, drove it hard, got it deep enough, and got the run in.
Dickerson struck out on a fastball away his first appearance against Danny Duffy.
'39 sacrifice fly that leads the National League. The Rockies doing a good job of taking advantage of those opportunities when presented.
Dickerson pops this one up. Now Alcides Escobar will make the play. 2 outs. Well, the Rockies average more than 5 runs a game at home. This is how much we've moved into a pitcher's era. Last year, 3 teams at home averaged more than 5 runs a game. The Rockies, the Tigers, the Red Sox. Just 2 years ago, 6 clubs did. Texas, Milwaukee, Boston, Chicago. In the American League, the White Sox, the Yankees, and the Rockies. This year, the Rockies are the only team to average more than 5 runs a game at home. I'll give you another example of it. I was having a conversation with Michael Kadire, and you know, Michael's been in the game for a while now. We were talking about how pitching's changed, and he said, you know, guys, you know, that throw 88. You know, a little slider and really have to locate that type of pitcher that you used to refer to as, or that you currently refer to as a guy that's, you know, maybe an emergency starter called up from AAA or maybe even AA. So those guys were 4th and 5th starters, regular 4th and 5th starters when he broke into the league. So now your 4th, 5th starters, you know, they're mid-90s guys.
Well, they're typically very young with not much command, but they throw hard.
They throw hard. Yeah. Runs keep decreasing.
And because of the lack of pitching, you have a lot of guys that get rushed to the big leagues at a very young age and hope that they pan out. At times it works, at times it doesn't. And that's what, you know, you look at the New York Mets. Harvey, they rushed up. I mean, great stuff. Ends up having an injured arm, and he's missing a lot of time now. Fernandez, he had Tommy John surgery.
Ride hanging tough, 1 and 2. Matt had a base hit his first time up. This is the 22nd time the Rockies and Royals have played each other. Royals lead the all-time series 12 games to 9. Of course, it was even going into the season. Royals 3-0 this year. And Duffy with his 3rd strikeout. When we come back, Walt Weiss will join us from the Rockies dugout. It's 2-1. Go to the Rockies dugout. Walt White's kind enough to spend a moment with us. Walt, pitchers duel, Danny Duffy. Filthy stuff. How difficult is it for a club that hasn't seen a guy? It's not like he resides with the Giants or the Dodgers in the National League West.
It's tough, a little bit tougher on the hitters, I think, when they haven't seen a guy. But the fact he's got a pretty good arm makes it even tougher. He's running up there pretty good. Got a good changeup. But our guy's throwing pretty well too, and Georgie.
I like the way he righted the ship after the first inning, Walt. Whenever he had a couple of walks, got out, maneuvered through some things.
Yeah, he's been good at that. That's been one of the secrets to his success. Is he's able to navigate some traffic and put the ball on the ground when he needs to.
Hey, play one of those 5-run cards again you played the other night, Walt. All right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Be nice. Yeah, let's put it up on him.
Good luck the rest of the way, Walt. We appreciate it. All right.
Appreciate it.
Walt Weiss from the Rockies dugout. Jorge De La Rosa ready to go in the top of the 5th inning. Alcides Escobar, then Duffy and Christian Colon. 8-9-1 for the Royals in a 2-1 ball game.
Not sure what he writes. I think you could probably ask him what he writes in the back of the mound every half inning. Do you know, Drew?
I don't know, and you know what? I think it's one of those things. We've seen guys write things before when on their way to the plate. I think certain things are private.
And a lot of them are. Maybe it's his dad, a grandfather, could be his twin. Could be the boys, could be anything that you write down.
Well, famously, I remember Karl Malone. Before every free throw, you could see him mouthing some words, and he was asked about it numerous times. He said, I'd rather keep it to myself.
You talked about not stepping on the line. I made it a point to step on the line.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to kick it out of the way, so I did. I'd step on the line every time.
Most guys don't, though. Most guys hop over the line.
Yeah, they jump over.
Ball and a strike on Alcides Escobar. To right field, Barnes will have it. 1 out. That's our Toyota Talk inning as well. With Duffy coming up, see what we have in store for you. Will we see John Gray in the September call-ups?
Well, I think honestly he's got still some growing to do. Tonight he went 2 innings, gave up 3 runs through 68 pitches. So I think there's still some growth there. He was taken out of the ball game. The Rockies kind of always implemented a rule that if you get above 30 pitches in 1 inning because of injury, they take you out of a ball game. So he had a deep 68 pitches in 2 innings.
Well, he didn't get injured tonight. You're saying
no, they just prevent it.
To prevent injury.
Sure they
right.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't like guys getting extended beyond 30. And it's not just the Rockies. A number of teams do to implement that rule.
Tyler Anderson threw the ball very well yesterday.
Last night he was good. Yeah, and he's been good. This whole second half, he's been very, very good.
Two strikes on Duffy.
That's kind of the advantage I have going home and being able to watch the AA ball club. The other night, we watched Eddie Butler make a start against Arkansas. No, excuse me, Frisco. Who has a very good ball club. Joey Gallo's on that team. He's got 40-something home runs at the minor league level this year. He was an Aflac All-American, signed as a high school first-round draft pick by Texas.
That was a pretty good outing by numbers for Butler.
Yeah, but third inning on, he was really good. First 3 a little shaky, a lot of balls in the air. Gallo hit a home run off of it, but the next 3, actually the next 4 were really good.
Strikeout of Danny Duffy. That's the 3rd strikeout for De La Rosa. And Christian Colon will come up. Want to walk at a base hit. What's the difference between recalled and purchased his contract?
Well, you purchase a contract is when somebody is not on the 40-man roster. So you're purchasing his minor league contract, putting him on the 40-man roster. That is the difference. When you're on the 40-man, they can recall you at any time. So when they purchased Matt McBride's contract the other day, they had to make room on the 40. And you say, well, wait a minute, there's more than 40 guys on the 40. When you put somebody on the 60, that allows 60-day DL, that allows you to add to your 40. And that's how they were able to put Matt McBride on. I can't remember the exact date when the season ends. But that 40-man roster has to be pared down. So everybody comes off of the 60 and
certain guys get designated at certain times, but that has to happen. Not too long after the season ends.
Two balls and a strike on Colon. Good pitch. Slider for a strike. 2-2. On the ground to Nolan Arenado. And he'll throw out Colon to end the inning. 1-2-3 in the fifth inning for De La Rosa. Rockies trailing 2-1. Barnes will lead off when we come back. First Bank game recap. Put the seventh inning stretch to good use. Sign up for First Bank's free checking at efirstbank.com. Pitchers duel, we expected that. Danny Duffy and Jorge De La Rosa. We're showing you Alex Gordon because he had a solo home run in the second. Eric Kratz a sac fly. Nolan Arenado had a triple. He scored on a Rosario sac fly. That's it as the Rockies bat here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Brandon Barnes will be first. He struck out against Duffy in the second inning. Rutledge a single, McBride a single, and the triple by Arenado. The hits for the Rockies, and that's pulled foul. Swing.
Follow every Rockies game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get instant replay, score, stats, audio, and a whole lot more.
On the ground to third. Colon throws across and gets Barnes. One out. Did you catch this, George? You know, the Giants last night in Cubs, after a 4.5-hour delay, the Cubs were winning 2-0. The game was called. and it was after the 5th inning, so the game was awarded to the Cubs 2-0. Well, the Giants, you see the Giants winning 8-2 in the 6th inning. The Giants protested and said that the Cubs didn't get the tarp out on the field in a timely fashion, and that's why they eventually lost the field. And Major League Baseball upheld it. They're going to resume from where, pick up from where they left off tomorrow, which is really interesting because there has not been a protest upheld since 1986, and the league determined the Cubs' inability to deploy their tarp, in quote, was caused by the failure to properly wrap and spool the tarp after its last use. George, it's like when you get after your kids to wash their plate off before you put it in the dishwasher. You have to do it right.
Well, you got to do it right. The Rockies do it right here. They get it on really quick.
But then when you wrap it up, it's got to be wrapped up properly.
Yep.
DJ 2 hops to Escobar, 2 outs. De La Rosa coming up next, 2 outs, nobody on. Tweet us your Rockies fan photos. Use the hashtag #COFanPhoto, and we'll show a picture, perhaps yours, in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Rockies just 6-13 against American League opponents this year. The Royals are 15-4. Which is the best they've ever done in interleague play. 2-0 on De La Rosa. If the Royals were to win tonight, tie for the most wins ever in interleague play. The 06 Red Sox won 16 out of 18 games, as did the Twins in 06. You could ask Morneau and Kadire about that Twins team. And the 02 Athletics went 16-2. And the American League leads again in the interleague matchups, 143-119 this year. The NL has not won a series. Escobar, good pickup, easy. Jorge, he almost got hurt last time. The National League has not won a season series since 2003. All time since '97, the American League more than 200 games over 500. 2-1 KC. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ram Trucks. The Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. By 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. By Blue Bell Ice Cream. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout, 2-1 Kansas City, 6th inning. Omar Infante, Billy Butler, Josh Willingham. 2, 3, and 4 in the Royals lineup. Royals 70 and 55. Do something they haven't done in 28 years. Make the playoffs. Longest drought in major professional sports. In comparison to the two pitchers, very similar across the board. De La Rosa's 2 walks came in the first inning. 2 of the first 3 hitters he faced. Here's the American League playoff picture. The Orioles up 8.5 games in the East. Wow, the Royals a game and a half up. That's because Detroit has closed out Tampa tonight 6-0 down at the Trop. And the Angels and Athletics are in a battle. If the season were to end today, the A's and Tigers would be the wild card teams. The Mariners having a good year. Don't discount these 2 other teams in the AL East, the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Omar Infante, after 4 hits last night, 0 for 2 tonight. That's a curveball that we so rarely see. It used to be a fixture in the repertoire of Jorge De La Rosa. Not so much anymore. Tried one there and missed.
Changing it around a little bit as he works his way 3rd time through this lineup.
One out.
Well, Drew mentioned the curveball. He doesn't throw it often. You can see it at the very end. Slider, the changeup, very prevalent, almost 30% of the time, and then the fastball, still the pitch he goes to, averaging 92.4 miles an hour.
Swinging strike on Billy Butler. It's 0-1. Where the Angels had a big blow tonight, took a big blow. Garrett Richards was 13-4. Like he blew out his patellar tendon.
30-minute delay in that ball game.
0-1 on Butler. Hard on the ground toward the middle. There's DJ LeMahieu, so steady. Throws out Butler, 2 outs. Josh Willingham coming up next. We thank you for tweeting in your questions during Toyota Talk. For more answers, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRN. Rockies a day off tomorrow. The Royals have a day off also. It will take place down in Arlington in front of a 3-game set against the Rangers. And they'll go home for a 10-game homestand. Actually a 9-game homestand. Deep short. Rutledge strong on. Perfect throw. Another great inning for De La Rosa. He's retired 7 in a row.
He actually did take some BP today. I talked to him in the clubhouse about this hamstring injury that he had. And if you think it happened on Sunday, think again. He kind of aggravated it.
I tweaked it a little bit when I was down on rehab. And, you know, the way that the rehab schedule was broken up is I had a day and time for it to recover. And then, yeah, 18 innings and running all over the place kind of did it in. But it's getting better, and I'm really confident I'll play on Friday.
So he's positive. Yeah, a lot of total bases for him on Sunday. Now, what about Cargo? He had his knee surgery up in Frisco in the mountains. Cargo tweeted this out today, and I saw Cargo here at Coors Field, so I'm sitting down. I said, Cargo, are you going to be in uniform tonight? He said, no, I'm just here. So Cargo's on the mend, and it looks guys like Michael Kadire should be back on Friday when the Marlins come to town.
Well, it'll be a welcome sight to use a one-man wrecking crew on Sunday. How about the cycle for Kadire as Rutledge leads off here in the bottom of the 6th inning? Did you realize that he got his final hit of the cycle, the double against Manny Parra, in his last at bat? He got his first 2 hits of his 2009 cycle with the Twins against Manny Parra.
Huh. How about that?
That gets Doug thinking, all right, has that ever happened before? Guy, same pitcher involved twice, and a guy producing 2 cycles. And again,
Doug, you're not going to look that up, are you?
He's only one of 3 guys to ever produce a cycle in each league.
I'm going to say this, Doug. If you're going to look that up, then you and Sam were doing the ice bucket challenge with me and Drew. He said he's not looking it up.
Can we roll my ice bucket challenge?
Huh? Not yet.
So
we haven't.
evidence.
Huh. Who challenged you, by the way? Your kids?
Mark Stout.
Oh, okay.
My kids did it that day too.
Did Mark do it? Why are you doing all the handshake thing?
I'm getting myself mentally prepared for the ice water.
Yeah, and all the dogs are laughing at you.
Is that enough water for you?
I'm proud of you. I really am. That was nice. So was that bath water or was that ice water?
The ice cubes bounced off the top of my head. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't. I just saw a lot of water, which I'm very proud of you for doing that.
Great cause. It's amazing how many. See, LeBron James challenged the president, I think, yesterday. Stubbs goes down. 2 outs. Rockies' last base runner was Nolan Arenado when he led off with a triple in the 4th. He's coming up right now. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. You know, we didn't check in on the birthday boy because we didn't run the audio of that, but I challenged Helton, and we haven't followed up to see if Helton has gotten his done yet. Now ball to third. Colon, low throw, dropped. Safe at first. Error on the third baseman, Colon.
And he's made 3 or 4 pretty good plays in this ball game, and he'll be upset with himself having a quick inning. Duffy was, and instead now Colon will pick up his first error of 2014 at the big league level. Pretty routine play. Ground ball hit right to him, and he just snapped it into the ground, and Butler not able to hang on to it. Tried to pick it, just couldn't do it. Hit right into the glove, didn't shut it quick enough, popped right out of the end of it. That's why a lot of fielders, particularly at first base, really tighten up that webbing in the glove. You know, that's why some guys, they say play with them a long time. They do, but they tighten the webbing in the hand area in the glove, because that's a longer glove than any glove on the field.
This is back up the middle. Willeen has singled it now after the error. The tying run is at second base as Dickerson comes up.
Yeah, an RBI machine too. And right now Colon like to go find a hole to dig in. He's made some pretty nice plays for him though. You know, that's exactly what Duffy was telling him. Runner on second. There hadn't been many of those out there. Major league average with runners on base, folks. After this, boy, that just went right off the glove and the hand. It looked like a Duffy hit hard by Willeen Rosario. So major league average with runners on base. Morneau 376. Dickerson 373. How about that? Gillespie, 372. This is with runners on base.
See if Corey can come through here against a guy who's limited lefties to an average below 135 this year. Breaking ball misses. 1-0. 2-0.
Typically left on left, 2-0 counts, and a guy with a good fastball. Now his average fastball velocity has dropped the last couple of innings. I say dropped, 92, but that's different in 95, 96. You look for that fastball, you can respond to it a little quicker. Corey, with every day, it's not like he hasn't been seeing left-handers and seeing good left-handers.
Sitting dead red here, and that just missed. It's 3-0. Bride's on deck.
Well, what was an innocent error at third base, and base hit back up the middle. The bullpen is quiet. Nobody getting loose down there, and you got a 3-0 count with McBride behind him. McBride with a single in his first at bat.
And now the bases are loaded for Matt McBride. It's the first walk allowed by Duffy. Well, maybe the Rockies, George, can turn the tables on Kansas City. Last night, Kansas City scored 3 in the 7th, and it began with 2 out and nobody on. They scored 3 in the 8th. It began with 2 out and nobody on. Right. This inning for the Rockies looks like it's beginning with 2 outs and nobody on.
And bases loaded and a chance. A big chance for not only the Rockies to take the lead, but for McBride to even put a bigger impression on Walt Weiss.
Matt McBride, a single and a strikeout. McBride, the 47th different player to wear a Rockies uniform this year with all of the injuries. This ball crushed high and deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Matt McBride with a grand slam. How you like that? Welcome back to the big leagues. The pride of Lehigh.
Well, I said make an impression. He did in a big way. A line drive, 390 feet to left field. All that Duffy could do is watch it sail over that left field fence and caught. That was a line shot. That dugout very excited.
5-2 Rockies.
Yeah, another look at this pitch. First, looking at a fastball right out of the hand on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. You can't square it any better than that. Belt tie, elevated pitch. That's not where Duffy wanted to go.
That was loud and it was proud. That was a shot.
Yeah, how's Cologne feel right now?
It all started with that 2-out throwing error by Cologne. Then a base hit, then an error, and then a line shot into the seats. The Rockies have turned the night around behind Matt McBride, 5-2 Colorado.
2. Matt McBride making his first start in the big leagues in 2 years with a single and a slam tonight. Rocky's 3rd slam of the year. Nolan Arenado had one earlier, and Ryan Wheeler also had one earlier. The day after every Rockies victory, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. Enter the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Arenado's came May 3rd against the Mets, and Ryan Wheeler's came on June 26th against Willie Peralta in Milwaukee. Alex Gordon with a 1-0 count. Alex Gordon a home run and a fly ball to deep right center. A very nice running catch by Stubbs around the warning track. De La Rosa goes from a 2-1 deficit to a 5-2 lead as he works in the 7th inning.
De La Rosa's second on the all-time list with the Rockies. 67 wins. Aaron Cook 72, trying to climb that ladder even farther. 67 and 42. Jeff Francis won 64 ball games. Jason Jennings 58. Waldo Jimenez 56.
I just saw Jeff. He was at the ballpark for Todd's number retirement ceremony on Sunday. Stopped by to say hello.
Yeah, Brad Hoppen stopped by along with him. Good to see Jeff. Looked great.
As did Brad. And Boomer, the distinction of pitching for 3 different teams this year.
Playoff check for a lot of people. Cincinnati, Oakland, and New York. He's got a chance. 2 out of 3.
So walk to Gordon leading off here in the 7th.
.81 pitches now for De La Rosa. Is what he can do is induce a double play in a hurry.
He's done that twice tonight. Got double play ground balls. That breaks a string of 7 straight, actually 8 straight retired. He got 9 straight. I can't count real well, George. 9 straight retired by De La Rosa.
How'd you do in geometry? Oh, well.
Geometry I did well.
Did you?
Yeah, algebra, geometry, trig.
You did. You took all those?
Yeah, did calculus too. What were they doing in Springfield?
You know what? I laughed when we were riding on the train one time and Jeff Francis pitched in New York, and some of his ex-teammates were there, college teammates. And you asked the question, did you guys take a lot of classes with Jeff? And the response was, we couldn't spell the classes Jeff took.
Yeah, exactly. He was a physics major at the University of British Columbia. Wasn't it Ron Darling, turned to Dougie now, who was like a molecular biology major at Yale? And the other guy who had a real interesting major was Chris Young at Princeton.
What was it?
Doug's looking it up. It was long. It was. I don't think it's what you and I majored in. 1-1 on Kratz, fouled off. 1 and 2. Zach, if you're listening, do your geometry homework. Zach's in geometry right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
So you're going to tutor him?
No, he'll probably tutor me. Well, Chris was a math teacher, so they know where to go to get tutored.
Now the phone hadn't rang down in the Rockies bullpen yet.
2 and 2.
The reason behind that, Drew mentioned the 2 double plays and the ability to induce those double plays. And this is your horse, De La Rosa.
3-2. Lorenzo Cain waiting on deck.
There it
Should
is.
be two. Boy, he's done a great job getting double plays tonight. That's what the good ones do. George, last night we talked about James Shields. The Rockies had 9 hits against Shields, but they scored only 2 runs against him because the good ones get the big outs when there's traffic. De La Rosa, runner on, leading off, 3-2 pitch, gets the ground ball still.
Yeah, he does. Gets the ground ball. He doesn't get flustered. It used to be he would get flustered about 3 or 4 years ago. Now he's just settled into his job at hand.
Lorenzo Cain, a ground ball to short and a strikeout. 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the 7th for the Royals. Colorado leading 5-2 behind the grand slam from Matt McBride. And all those runs last inning unearned against Danny Duffy because of the error with 2 outs. Gotta feel good for him. Battled some injuries, some significant ones the last 2 years. 29-year-old who has persevered. And he's a different kind of super utility guy, George. Usually the super utility guy plays in the middle of the infield, right? I mean, this kid, we said it earlier, he can catch, does a nice job back there. First, third, right, left.
And what gives you an awful lot of value at the big league level.
DJ's got it. Nice job by Jorge De La Rosa. He safely navigates the 7th inning. The Rockies leading 5-2. Two-out grand slam last inning. Danny Duffy continuing on. DJ LeMahieu, then De La Rosa, and Josh Rutledge. And if you're wondering, De La Rosa, still a fairly low pitch count, is in the on-deck circle. And there's nobody warming up in the Rockies' pen, so Walt's going to roll with De La Rosa.
Why not? When you get the leadoff walk, quick double play, and then line out to end the inning.
Walt's old school. De La Rosa is a horse. He's pitched, thrown above 110 pitches a couple times this year.
He's got 90 right now. You know, when you got a guy like De La Rosa, he tells you when he's done.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, you get a horse like that,
He said, "Hey, I'm done." You know, and they become honest with each other, and they tell you, most of them do, that hey, I'm done. Obviously, he's not.
Mayhew, a ground ball to second and a ground ball to short. 1-2 count. 2-2. Forgetting the other Ivy League pitcher who had an interesting major. Chris Young majored in political science, which is a somewhat more common.
Very common. He was probably just thinking about trying to run for Congress.
There have been a lot of baseball players to move into the political arena upon completion of their career. 1 out. Here's Jorge getting a nice round of applause from the crowd. Five strikeouts for Duffy. He's not got De La Rosa, though. De La Rosa, ground ball to second, ground ball to short. Couple years in a Royals uniform for Jorge.
But he had his try with Milwaukee. There's actually his pitching coach over Milwaukee, Bob Apodaca, who's now a coordinator for the Rockies in the lower minor leagues. He has Asheville, Tri-Cities.
So much of Jorge's success with the Rockies can be traced to the harnessing of his emotions. I mean, there was never question about his ability. I mean, a huge arm.
And the guy did a lot with him on that was Ron Fetich, who used to work here for the Rockies. He did a tremendous job.
Yeah, Ronnie Fetich did a terrific job. Russ Ohlendorf, that's who I was thinking of, George. He was an operations research and financial engineering major. Dougie, good job with that. 1-2. Now go look up Darling's major.
First of all, I'm going to hand you guys a couple of quarters so you can call somebody to see who cares about Ron Darling's major. But
well, we just wanted to finish the thought on the subject. 1-2 on De La Rosa. Jorge fouls it off. You were a communications major, weren't you?
Broadcast. Yep, broadcast major at the University of Oklahoma. Took me a couple of years to settle into the school thing.
By that time, you were drafted.
Yeah, no.
Strikeout at De La Rosa. Dual major for, I don't know where it came on molecular biology for Darling. He was a dual major, French and Southeast Asian history.
Drew George.
Mark.
I got to chime in. Matt McBride took 15 credits in the offseason at Lehigh. He's 11 away from his degree, which I don't know what his major is.
Do you know it's good for him?
You know, Mark, you and I both went to Ithaca College, so we know the East and Lehigh. Do you remember what their nickname is?
The
Engineers?
The Engineers. Very good.
There you go.
Very good.
I took a lot of pass-fail courses at Ithaca.
And you're still with us, so we appreciate that.
Got 1 or 2 a semester, so I went for it.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rutledge. It's the Hawks. It's not the Engineers anymore.
No, yeah, they changed it?
In the air to center field. I guess so. I didn't know that. We'll have to ask Matt about that. You know what, Mark? That'll be something I know you'll take care of tomorrow. You will ask McBride when and why they changed their name. Matt McBride, the man of the night offensively, a grand slam, 5-2 Rockies.
Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. Alex Gordon gave the Royals a 1-0 lead back in the second inning. They would increase the lead to 2-0, then it was 2-1, and then it was 5-2 Colorado. First pitch with the bases loaded to Matt McBride from Danny Duffy in line. 400 feet to left center field. His first career grand slam, his third career home run. He hadn't been in the big leagues until yesterday, dating back to 2012, last year an injury-plagued season. And the first pitch of the 8th inning in for a strike at 91 on Alcides Escobar. Aoki's come out in the on-deck circle. And you say, well, why don't they put a right-handed bat up there? Ned Yost doesn't have a right-handed bat left on the bench.
No, he doesn't.
Because Salvador Perez was scratched. I don't know if the knee acted up. We have not heard as to why he was a late scratch. He's obviously a right-handed bat.
Well, a lot of people can point to Cologne's error if you're a Royals fan and say, well, if he doesn't make the error, that was his third out of the inning. But then you still, as a pitcher, you give up the base hit. Then you walk a bat.
Line to right, and Barnes will keep it in front of him.
I thought he played him perfectly defensively and was going to have a chance at that baseball.
So Escobar reaches. And that'll bring up Aoki, who hits lefties well.
The Marlins are coming to town this weekend. If you haven't got tickets, make sure you do. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they'll be here in town. 303 Rockies. Value packs are available. Rockies.com/tickets.
The book on Danny Duffy, 7 innings, 5 runs, only one of which was earned. 5 hits, a walk, and 6 punch-outs. Adam Ottavino up.
Well, so 3 double plays in this game tonight. Be difficult to do if the left-handed hitting Aoki up, who runs well. One of those atom balls hit right at somebody where you can flip it and turn it.
2 strikes on Aoki. Aoki hitting .347 against lefties. It's the best mark left on left in the American League.
Good idea. Tried to get him a chase and cutter at 88 away. He has that slash and run type swing. He'll try to stay out of the middle of that area in the plate. You give him an opportunity to get some coverage, which is, you know, we'll stay out of this area right here. Try to work the ball away from him.
Almost was out of the box when that ball hit him. 4 for his last 23 at the plate. (5-2) Colorado in the 8th. Royals, one of the 3 best road records in the game, 37 and 27. Dodgers have the #1 road record in the game.
Look down to that bullpen. Ottavino gave the signal he's going to throw some sliders. By doing that, tells you he's pretty close. You don't normally throw the breaking ball until you're good and loose with your fastball. Yeah, he's pretty close right now.
Aoki's being a pain in the neck right now.
Yes, he is. Barely foul tipped this and looked like it might have ricocheted off the glove of Boline. That's, you know, that's just hit or miss anyway. Caught him in a kneecap. For a catcher to catch a foul tip, never happens.
32-year-old Norichika Aoki, Nori Aoki, and this ball's a fly ball to center. Easy play for Stubbs. Rain coming down again. And Christian Colon coming up.
Well, the home plate umpire right now, it's Jeff Nelson's called him out. Want to know what's going on with the rain.
Coming down that bad.
I didn't think so either, but he doesn't want to lose the field. You got a very important, obviously, series with the Royals here. Just want to see if it's going to clear up. If it's going to stay, what's it going to do? Raz is giggling a little bit. Those raindrops are pretty big right now, a lot bigger than what they have been during the course of the game tonight.
So here's Colon. And he takes a strike. Christian, who George saw when he was calling the Affleck All-American game back in '06. He was the MVP of that ball game. He grew up in Puerto Rico until he was 12, and then he moved to Texas, then he moved to Utah, and then on to Southern California. He was telling us before the ball game he went to 3 high schools in 4 years because his dad was in pharmaceutical. He was a pharmaceutical exec and was moved around quite a bit. There's the 4th double play turned tonight by the Rockies. 6-4-3 on that one. And the Rockies lead it 5-2. Bottom of the 8th upcoming. He's leading. Jorge De La Rosa, terrific job again tonight, in line for his 13th victory of the year. Here's our AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #COFanPhoto for an opportunity to have it shown. It's brought to you by AT&T. And I love this one. My best friend Matt fighting cancer and going through chemotherapy. And it says he will K cancer. Love it.
Yeah, beautiful. Jason Frazier comes into the ballgame for the Kansas City Royals, acquired on July 16th from the Texas Rangers. The 11-year veteran has made 51 appearances now in the American League, an earned run average of .316, 37 innings. It tells you more of a situational guy. The 2 runs he gave up the other day in Minnesota were the first he had given up in a Royals uniform, covering 12 appearances. He pitched for Toronto 2004, 2002, 2011. Traded to the White Sox, back to Toronto, then to Texas in 13 and 14.
Drew Stubbs 0 for 3 tonight. Drew will be first, and Arenado and Rosario against Frazier. Four double plays turned by the Rockies tonight matches a season high. They turned 4 at home in April against the Rangers. Actually in May against the Rangers. There's a base hit for Drew.
Hey, Bark at the Park presented by Evo Dorman and Nyla Bone. Hope I pronounced all that right. It's Thursday, September the 18th. The event includes a pregame parade on the field with your dog, plus goodies. Special tickets to the dog zone are required for this, so make sure you make that phone call. Dougie, you were going to bring the dogs? They could come up in the booth. Yeah, I'm good with that. I have no problem with that. A lot of the minor league parks have been doing the Bark in the Park. They do it in Tulsa quite often. Pretty good crowd shows up.
Rockies' club record for turning double plays in a game is 5. Arenado kind of a check swing that could drop, and it's a foul ball. Wow. Pretty good coordination there. Jeff Nelson had to run up and get the bag at first, George, and the first base umpire, Scott Barry, had to go down the line.
Well, he had to go down in rotation, make sure you got 2 eyes on it in case somebody gets blocked. But I see some white chalk fly up before that ball spun away.
Yeah, you know what? Some white did fly. Here comes the wall.
Yeah. So I don't know how you would do it. I guess you'd award first and second, nobody out. I mean, you know, I saw the white chalk fly up, so I mean, it certainly said something to me that it's something white over there.
What is it, a bubble gum wrapper? That was chalk.
No, it wasn't a bubble gum wrapper.
This manager's challenge is brought to you by Subaru's EyeSight Driver Assist technology, a vigilant safety feature that gives peace of mind to every drive.
Let's watch right here on the flight of this baseball because everybody kind of froze. Right here, watch.
Watch the white fly out.
There. I'm telling you, I thought the ball from my viewpoint, and I'm a long ways away, I thought it was a fair ball.
This one should be an even better angle on it. I think it caught part of the line.
I think it did too.
Can we slow that down, fellas?
Just the look I had. That's why I thought it hit fair. Now no one didn't argue, but look at Eric Young. Look where he's pointing. Fair ball. See, and the thing is, if you could go back where the first base umpire, Scott Barry he was trying to peek around Butler to see the play. See, he's running down the line just with him. The ball hits. He hadn't seen it yet. See, he's still peeking around. He hadn't seen the ball yet.
Hey, you know, George, you're right. I mean, he had to peek around Butler.
He can't see it.
What do we
Butler's
have?
running right down the line. Safe. You got first and second. That's right.
Second. It did hit the line. Arenado still got a bat. Wait a second.
Why's he got a bat? Isn't he on first? I thought they gave a safe sign. I guess not. I don't get it.
Maybe he threw his hands up in the air to indicate foul ball. That's what he did.
Okay.
I don't know. Not convinced. 2-strike count on Arenado. Jason Frazier in the game. And this ball is well hit right center field. Get on out of here. That's better than a single anyhow. Catch up against the wall by Willingham. 1 out.
Tracking it all the way back, your right hand out to check the wall. Then, oh, it got closer than I thought it was going to. Great concentration on Willingham to make the catch.
Take a look at our Subway in-game box. Rosario coming up. Willeen drove in a run on sac fly. Only guy with a multi-hit night is Matt McBride. Single and a grand slam. See if the Rockies run Stubbs here. One out. Stubbs a base hits at first. He takes off and it's in the air to right. Stubbs got to find the baseball. Willingham firing it back in. Not going to double up Drew. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Corey Dickerson. Safelite Auto Glass, the folks to go see if you have windshield issues. Safelite.com, 303-287-5000 as well. Troy Hawkins has been up. He'll handle the 9th inning. 8 terrific innings from Jorge De La Rosa, searching for his 13th victory of the year. They're going to appeal to see if he went back through the bag on his way to first.
He did. I watched. I saw it. They could have asked me. I could have told them.
Remember the play, I think it was earlier this year, a guy just took one step and was at second base, lifted his foot off, and then went back to first without retouching. And that counted as not retouching. And I can't remember when that happened, but the player was very confused by it. He said, I did touch it, or I did retouch. We didn't realize that he had to retouch because he felt like he was still on the bag. But once that foot came off, had to come back on to go back to first, if that makes sense. I probably completely confused you with that description, but
you did. Confused me.
Wow.
That's not hard to do.
No, that's
But I didn't understand what you say in the beginning about he didn't touch the rule because they checked the don't touch rule. I don't know. You lost me after that.
Never mind.
Okay.
2-0 on Dickerson.
Frazier's not a big guy, but a guy with a pretty good arm. I know that Dan Yost looking out, a little disgust, shake on his head. I mean, thinking about tough to leave that inning alone when the Rockies hit the grand slam. Tough to shake that one off. Error, single by Rosario, a walk to Dickerson, and then the grand slam by McBride.
But quite honestly, that's the kind of thing that the Royals have been doing in winning 22 out of 27.
Exactly.
On Dickerson. And that'll end the inning as Infante throws out Corey. So Stubbs left at first base. Rockies looking for 3 more outs. 5-2 Colorado.
brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Ram Trucks. The Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. Rockies leading 5-2 in the ninth inning. LaTroy Hawkins will try to close it out. And then we'll have the Toyota postgame show led by Jenny Cavanaugh. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, guys. Coming up on the Toyota postgame show, Corey Sullivan, Jeff Houston will be here. We're going to talk about McBride. I'm loving it. Rockies fans are loving it, too. How about a grand slam in just his 4th Major League at bat of the 2014 season? We'll also discuss De La Casa. Coors Field has become the home of Jorge De La Rosa, looking for his 6th consecutive win here at Coors Field. And Mr. August, can't forget about Nolan Arenado. He has sure been hot this month. Plenty to talk about, and hopefully we'll cap it off with the Rockies win, guys.
Hey, by the way, did you challenge me on the ice bucket thing?
I did. When are you doing that?
When are you doing it?
I've already done it.
I didn't see it. I got to
Yes,
see
you
it in
did.
person. So I said on Friday, you and I and Drew would all do it together.
Hey, George, when you join Twitter, I'll do it again for you.
What?
It's a social media thing. Come on.
I know
get with
exactly
the
what it is.
Jenny.
And it ain't happening.
Don't confuse them any more than you know.
Justin Morneau is coming to the ball game, not a double switch. It's just straight up.
And LaTroy Hawkins looking for the save tonight with the Rockies up 5-2. LaTroy's been throwing the ball very well. De La Rosa, by the way, becomes the first Rockies pitcher this year to go 8+ innings, allowed 2 runs or fewer, and 5 hits or fewer. De La Rosa, 2 runs, 5 hits, walked 3, struck out 3 in 8 innings. 2, 3, and 4 for the Royals. Omar Infante, who's 0 for 3, and that's a strike.
Well, LaTroy's been really good this year. You can see the number of save opportunities, not many because of the Rockies record, but 18 of 19. 23 strikeouts, contact guy that able to put the ball in play down in the zone. Pretty consistent with that delivery every time out of the box. And the next bike to the game is Sunday when the Rockies take on the Marlins. Check in at the bike lot near Gate E before the 4th inning for your chance to win prizes. Visit Rockies.com/green for more information. Lightning in the area. LaTroy, work fast. Right?
Yes. On the ground is short. Rutledge gets Infante first out in the ninth.
One save for LaTroy Hawkins since the All-Star break. Josh played a nice shortstop tonight. Made a couple of nice plays, swung a bat well. Only 1 for 4, but he hit the ball hard.
Billy Butler will step in. The Ford Strike Zone is powered by Built Ford Tough trucks. Built better, built stronger, Built Ford Tough. No wonder the Ford F-Series are the best-selling trucks 37 years straight. Butler with an 8-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 2 tonight and a walk. Takes strike 1 at the bottom of the zone.
See if LaTroy kind of speeds things up here on him as he gets in and gets his sign, and as he starts to come set. A lot of times LaTroy will continue the motion. Yep, then it comes set again.
Breaking ball, that's fouled off. 1-2. Rockies were down 2-0. Matt McBride, when it was 2-1, hit a grand slam. A reminder that if you have windshield issues, trust SafeLight. SafeLight.com on the phone at 303-287-5000. That 6-mile-an-hour heater that evidently was just off the plate.
Well, they got to remind fans at home. I mean, our computerized strike zone is set up behind home plate. It's not. The cameras are off center a little bit in home plate, not in center field. I mean, they're not directly behind the mound, so sometimes you get an awkward look at it.
3-2.
Yeah, Hawk not happy. He thought he had a couple of pitches to go get him. He didn't get him.
Not going to get a lot of emotion out of LaTroy when he's out on the field. He broke in before some of these guys were born. Back off of LaTroy, knocks it down, plenty of time. And he'll go to first to Morneau, 2 outs. 2 down in the 9th inning. Josh Willingham coming up for the Royals. Time for the CenturyLink link to what's next. Rockies will enjoy a day off tomorrow. Then the Marlins are in for 3. Then it's off to San Francisco. 4 games set there, 3 in Arizona. Rockies will be inside the division beginning on the 25th for a while. The calendar turns to September. What happened to summer?
Went quick, did it?
Always seems to. Willingham tonight, 1 for 3, double and a run scored back in the 4th. DJ moves almost up the middle against Willingham and breaking pitches outside and away. Well, who wants tacos? Fans, follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more for the Rockies Taco Special. This ball lifted to deep left field. Dickerson's going to have a play, and that'll end the ball game. The Rockies win it 5-2. Jorge De La Rosa improves to 13-8. Danny Duffy takes the loss. He's 8-11. LaTroy Hawkins has now saved 19 out of 20 this year, and Matt McBride, welcome back to the big leagues. A grand slam, his first career slam tonight, as he took the Rockies from a deficit to a 3-run lead. The Rockies would hold on from that point forward. Our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Bases loaded, first pitch from Danny Duffy, and this was loud. Line shot into the seats in left center field. Third grand slam of the year for the Rockies. Again, the first slam of Matt McBride's career, and the Rockies prevail 5-2. Rockies 50 up and 76 down now, and the Royals fall to 70 and 56. Again, Jorge De La Rosa now 13-8. Let's go out to center field and rejoin Jenny.
Well, Drew, it was just a Coors Field.